What is an ETF and why do people care so much about it when it comes to Bitcoin? That's what we're going to address in today's video. If you don't know what a spot ETF is, maybe you're living under a rock. I don't blame you. It has been a bear market. So right off the bat, an ETF is an exchange traded fund. And these ETFs basically track the price of other things. Could be one thing, could be a basket of things, could be things like commodities, currencies, other stocks, for example. ETFs are also similar to things like mutual funds, except ETFs are traded on the stock market and their price can fluctuate throughout the period of the trading day, unlike mutual funds that only trade once a day after the markets are closed. They're also available to be bought and sold through online brokers and traditional brokers. And you can usually purchase ETFs of all sorts and kinds through retirement account providers and investment apps like Robinhood. So it's a big deal for there to be a Bitcoin ETF because this, and especially a spot ETF. I will be explaining the difference between a spot and future ETF in the very next video. So make sure you hit like and subscribe so you don't miss that video, so you get the full picture of what's really going to happen with price manipulation, the price of Bitcoin, and the role that ETFs play in that. But basically, keeping it simple here, a Bitcoin ETF allows the masses to speculate and just get exposure to the price fluctuations of Bitcoin without having to actually own any Bitcoin. Now, that last part, some people think that's a great thing. Some people think that's a horrible thing. And it all really depends on your own knowledge of the traditional financial system and your own financial goals. So since the big news and all the hype is surrounding a Bitcoin spot ETF, that's what this next statement is going to be regarding, is that all Bitcoin associated with any ETF that is launched by companies like BlackRock, which by the way has $9.4 trillion assets under management. There's also Franklin Templeton, which has $1.3 trillion assets under management, and Invesco, which has $538 billion assets under management. Just to name a few, there is plenty more in companies with plenty more billions of dollars under management that want to launch a spot Bitcoin ETF. And what this means is that for each of these companies, for each of these ETFs that they want to have their users exposure to, they need to actually buy real Bitcoin, on-chain, legitimate, authentic Bitcoin, and hold it for them to launch a Bitcoin ETF. Now, this Bitcoin is going to be held by a custodian for these companies, and the vast majority of these Bitcoin spot ETFs will be using the custodian of Coinbase. At least they plan to. If that changes in the future, we'll be letting you know. But that's also a really important thing to consider too, is that Coinbase is going to be the custodian of possibly trillions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. Now, back in October of 2021, almost 2 years to the day at the time of this filming, there was a Bitcoin futures ETF already passed. It's been trading on the stock exchange for the past 2 years. And there's a big difference between a futures ETF and a spot ETF, especially for an asset like Bitcoin, which has blockchain technology with which it functions. So why is this Bitcoin spot ETF getting so much more attention? There's a lot of factors going on there. And most importantly, which one or both, are they equal, allow for price manipulation of Bitcoin? There's a lot of people saying, oh, I'm really not a fan of a Bitcoin spot ETF. It's going to allow for far more manipulation. I think there's a little bit of confusion there, and I'm going to be clearing that up in the next video where I'm going to go over the difference between a futures ETF, a spot ETF, which one allows for more manipulation, and what does it mean price-wise for those who are actually holding real Bitcoin. Make sure you hit like and subscribe because I don't think you want to miss that video coming out if you want to be completely educated on everything that's happening with these Bitcoin ETFs. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video.